How'd your parents handle things when you got injured? When I was 8, I fell off my bicycle and fractured my left arm. Instead of comfort, my father dragged me into the garage and deliberately broke my right arm with a wrench. He said both sides had to match or I'd grow up permanently disfigured. He was obsessed with everything being perfectly symmetrical. He made us chew evenly on each side of our mouth, counted every step we took, and if one leg stepped more than the other, we had to spin in circles to even it out. This wasn't about OCD or perfectionism. He just liked having control over our bodies. He had once been a physical therapist, but after losing his license for unethical experiments on patients, he turned us into his replacements. He logged our body stats and detailed charts, flipping out if anything was even a little off. That broken arm was the first serious accident I ever had, and it pushed him deeper into his obsession with symmetry. After the ER put on my cast, he silently drove us home. Then he led me to the garage, pinned my right arm to his workbench, and slammed the wrench down. He claimed that healing unevenly would destroy me forever, and this was the only way to protect me. My mom stood frozen in the doorway, paralyzed with fear. The snap of my bone was loud, but my screaming was louder. He rushed me back to the ER and told them I'd fallen again. From that moment on, any injury had to have a mirror injury. If my sister took a softball to the face and got a black eye, Dad punched the other eye. If my brother scraped his left knee, Dad used sandpaper to scrape the right. His so-called medical kit in the bathroom wasn't medicine. It was a collection of tools, hammers, razors, pliers, meant for inflicting symmetrical harm. He had strict methods for each procedure. Burns had to be the same temperature and last just as long. Cuts were measured precisely so both sides matched. He took pictures of every wound, with rulers next to them so he could recreate them exactly. And if our emotional reaction wasn't the same, if we cried more or less the second time, he would explode in anger. Otherwise, he acted disturbingly calm, like he believed he was a real doctor. He wore gloves, explained the process like it was a surgery, talking about symmetrical recovery while pressing a blowtorch to our skin. He even scribbled fake medical notes in old textbooks to convince Mom he was doing something legitimate. My siblings and I tried desperately to hide our injuries. I glued torn clothes shut so he wouldn't see cuts. My brother limped for weeks on a sprained ankle rather than let Dad know. My sister stole concealer to cover bruises, but Dad inspected us every day, checking for mismatched wounds. If he found one we'd hidden, we got double the punishment, the mirrored wound and a bonus one for lying. And that new injury needed balancing too. When I was 16, I needed a wisdom tooth pulled. It was only one side, but Dad insisted the other side had to go too. The dentist refused to remove a healthy tooth, so Dad said he'd handle it himself, in the garage, with pliers. That was my breaking point. I locked myself in my room and refused to come out. For the first time ever, my injury was lopsided, and it felt like a victory. My jaw ached only on the left side, and I loved the feeling. I blocked the door with furniture, living on granola bars and water from the bathroom sink. My face swelled unevenly, and I stared in the mirror, fascinated. Dad pushed diagrams under the door, warning about facial deformity. Mom sobbed outside, but I felt stronger than I ever had. The pain was mine, not shared, not duplicated, just mine. Eventually, I ran out of food. I opened the door, and Dad was there, lying on the floor with his pliers, waiting. He chopped. Set me around the house trying to trap me while Mom screamed for me to give in and let him fix it. I made it back to my room, but he began unscrewing the door from the hinges. That week turned into a battle. He ambushed me during the night or any time I stepped out. He removed every lock from the house. I had nowhere to run. He made my siblings help him, bribing them with a pass on their next symmetry session if they held me down. My brother actually grabbed my arms while Dad moved in with the pliers. I barely escaped. The house became a nightmare. Every hallway, every room could hide Dad and his tools. After weeks of torment, sleep deprivation twisted his mind even more. He started noticing asymmetry in everyone. That's when he saw the neighbor's boy outside with a scraped knee. Dad lured him into our garage with candy. The boy's mom caught him pressing a cheese grater to the other knee and called the police. When they raided our home, they found everything. His torture gear and pages upon pages of detailed abuse records. Dad was arrested. We went to live with our aunt. But even now, when I get the tiniest cut, I flinch, waiting for someone to make the other side bleed too.